Hey everyone, this is Natasha. I'm back with my new video on Biosphere Reserves of India. This is yet another favorite topic of UPSC from which questions have been asked consistently. And if you haven't watched my previous videos on Tiger Reserves of India, go watch them. So let's start now. This is part 1. What I'm gonna do is that I will be covering 11 biosphere reserves out of 18, which are also a part of UNESCO MANNAR Biosphere Reserve program, and the rest 7 will be covered in the second part. So first of all, let me give you a brief introduction about what biosphere reserves actually are. Biosphere Reserve is an international designation that is given by UNESCO for representative parts of natural and cultural landscapes extending over large areas of terrestrial or coastal or marine ecosystems or a combination thereof, which means that they are larger areas of natural habitat than a national park or animal sanctuaries and often include one or more national parks or preserves along with buffer zones that are open to some economic uses. And protection is granted not only to flora and fauna of the protected region but also to the human communities who inhabit these regions and their ways of life. Animals are protected and saved here. In order to consider a site a biosphere reserve, it must contain an effectively protected and minimally disturbed core area of value of natural conservation. And it should be large enough to sustain viable populations representing all trophic levels in the ecosystem. What are the 3 trophic levels in the ecosystem, guys? Carnivores, omnivores, and herbivores. Okay, how do we define the structure of a biosphere reserve? See, biosphere reserve consists of 3 zones, that is core zone, buffer zone, and transition zone. If, for example, this is an area, this would be our core zone and it can be a national park. Alright, the surrounding area is a buffer zone. The buffer zone consists of wildlife sanctuary and this area is our transition zone. It can be a tourism area. It is the outermost part of a biosphere reserve. I hope this is clear now. So before continuing the list of biosphere reserves, I want you to remember some of these important facts which are really crucial for your preliminary examination. First of all, you need to know that there are 686 biosphere reserves in 122 countries. India is having a total number of 18 biosphere reserves, out of which 11 are part of World Network of Biosphere Reserves based on UNESCO Man and Biosphere Reserve program. First biosphere reserve in India is Nilgiri. 18th is Panna. Largest one is Kutch in Gujarat. And the smallest one is NOKREK in Meghalaya. Okay, so the first under Man and Biosphere Reserve program was Nilgiri. And 11th under Man and Biosphere Reserve program was Kanchenjunga. It was included under this in 2018. You need to remember this that the year 2010 is known as International Year of Biodiversity and the current decade, that is 2011 to 20, is the International Decade on Biodiversity. So let's start. First one is Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve in the Western Ghats and Nilgiri Hills ranges of South India. It is India's first and foremost, as I've already told you. We have to remember that there are some tribal groups which are native to this biosphere reserves, namely Todas, Kotas, Irulas, and Kurumbas. It encompasses in 3 states, Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. Okay, after that, the important fact to remember here is that this reserve is having the largest population of 2 endangered species, lion-tailed macaque and Nilgiri tahar. Moving to the next one is Gulf of Mannar in Tamil Nadu, comprising of 21 coral islands. and it was recently suffering from these problems: sea surface temperature, sea level rise, ocean acidification, and tsunamis. The third one is Sundarbans Biosphere Reserve in the state of West Bengal, declared a biosphere reserve in the year 1989 and is also declared as a World Heritage Site in 1989. I've also mentioned this in my previous video. Fourth one is Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve, established in 1982 in the state of Uttarakhand. It is also a World Heritage Site which was declared in 1988, and it was later expanded and renamed to Nanda Devi and Valley of Flowers National Park in the year 2005. We should know that Valley of Flowers National Park is in the state of Uttarakhand. Fifth one is NOKREK Biosphere Reserve. It is in West Garo Hills district of Meghalaya, and key fauna that are found here are red panda and Asian elephant. Next thing we have to remember here is that important rivers and streams of the Garo Hills region rise from the Nokrek range, and river Simsang is one prominent. So the sixth one is PACHMARHI Biosphere Reserve. It is found in the Satpura ranges of Madhya Pradesh. The highest peak here is Dhupgarh, and this biosphere reserve consists of 3 wildlife conservation units: Bori Sanctuary, Panchmari Sanctuary, and Satpura National Park. We have to remember this. Alright. After that, the seventh one is Simlipal Biosphere Reserve in the state of Odisha. This biosphere reserve comprises of Simlipal Sanctuary. Then, adjoining Simlipal Sanctuary are the Nato and Satkosia Reserve Forest and a transition zone of approximately 10-kilometer width. Simlipal is in the eastern end of Eastern Ghats, we should know this, and is classified in the Chota Nagpur Biotic Province of the Mahanadian Biogeographical Region. Moving to the next one is the Great Nicobar Biosphere Reserve. It encompasses some 85% of the island of Great Nicobar, which is the largest of the Nicobar Islands in the Indian Union Territory of Andaman and Nicobar Islands. And we should also remember that this biosphere reserve incorporates 2 national parks of India within it, which are the larger one, Campbell Bay National Park on the northern part of island, and Galathea National Park in the southern interior. Then the next important fact to remember here is that this island is the traditional land of 2 indigenous tribal groups, that are Nicobaris and Shompen. The ninth one is Achanakmar Amarkantak Biosphere Reserve. This reserve straddles across 2 states, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, and we should also remember that this reserve is the source of 3 major river systems: the Narmada, the Johila, and the Son River. Next one, Maikal Hill ranges together with Vindhya and Satpura lie within Achanakmar Amarkantak Biosphere Reserve. So, if this is the map of India, we can say that Vindhya ranges lie here and Satpura ranges lies here, and somewhere here are the Maikal ranges. Alright. The 10th one is Agastya Malai Biosphere Reserve, which is straddling across 2 states, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, at the southern end of the Western Ghats. It includes the Indian ecoregions of tropical wet evergreen forests, moist deciduous forests, montane rainforests, and shola. Key fauna here are Bengal tiger, Asian elephant, and Nilgiri tahar. After that, the important tribal group is Kanikaran. So the last one to be covered in this video is Kanchenjunga Biosphere Reserve. It is located in Sikkim, inscribed to the UNESCO World Heritage Site in July 2016, and it became the first mixed heritage site of India. It contains a Gompa in its buffer zone, Tholung Monastery, very important. Then we should know that key fauna that are found here are musk deer, snow leopard, Himalayan tahar, red panda, Tibetan wild ass, Himalayan blue sheep, and goral. Alright guys, so the first part of this video ends here. Do like, subscribe and share. I'll come up with the second part of the video very soon, and thank you all for your support.